Oh, good morning, everybody, and welcome to ITHive.org's live tech show, episode 59. And we got real life benefits this week. It's been a busy week, so I just thought I would use some real life examples of the kind of service we offer and the quick turnaround and why we can do what we do. So, first, I'll start. So November 17th, episode 59. I don't know if I mentioned that, but anyway. So this week started with our good friends, the spammer hacker. And of course, as they often do, they targeted a senior citizen. And just trying to get some more light on me. And, you know, that always really, really bothers me. You know, my parents are seniors too, of course, and, you know, I see them get attacked, obviously, a lot too, and you know, it just shakes my head that people try and take advantage of vulnerable people. And so anyway, this is what happened. She got an email, and I'm not sure why it didn't go in her spam filter, but it didn't. And maybe this was a good reason it didn't. It starts out, the email from the hacker, telling her that they know her user ID and password. Her user ID being her email address and her password being her password. But interestingly enough, it didn't tell her what that was for, right? It just alluded to the fact that they knew her email and password, and they referenced to a password. Now, what was disturbing here was that my client told me that the password that they used was a password that she uses with her online banking, and she doesn't use it anywhere else. So that was really, really alarming. Now, this happened on a holiday here in Canada, and I told her, I said, you know, get hold of your bank, call your bank, and have your online banking password changed over the phone. Now, why is that? Well, you don't want to do it over the computer, just in case that, you know, better to be safe than sorry that computer has been compromised in some way, and that's how they got that information. And to this day, I don't know what caused the situation to happen or how they got that password. Now, the rest of the email was very intimidating and very, you know, saying things like, you know, they were going to, you know, share sensitive photos of her and you know, all kinds of threatening things, and they were going to shut down her computer in 48 hours and all that stuff. So imagine what that does to a senior citizen when they read these things, right? She was really, really distraught over the whole scenario. But anyway, we talked on Monday. I told her not to worry. I told her that, you know, I'm pretty sure her machine has not been compromised, because I would know about it because of the nature of the service that I offer her. If anything's going wrong, I know. And but I assured her, you know, call your bank. Let's deal with that in that front. And she did, and she got the bank was very responsive and all that stuff. On Tuesday, I followed up with her and, you know, got confirmation she did talk to her bank, and they were taking the steps to protect her account. And I use a company called WebRoot, and it's the first time I've really had to do this in a live scenario, but I felt it was prudent to just verify, because I know, being a tech, I know that tech can fail, right? I don't care what anybody says. It's software, and it can have failure, right? So I thought, well, let's double check. So I had an appointment with her, follow-up call. I reached out to WebRoot's support staff and said, hey, I have an issue here. This is what's happening. I sent them a copy of the email just in case. And they reached back to me within, like, literally almost a half an hour, right? and they had a diagnostic tool that they wanted me to run on her machine, which I did. So this is all real-time support. I love it, right? And that's why, I said this before, I don't deal with companies that don't provide me the support, because if I don't get the support, I can't provide the customer support, right? And I'll drop companies that don't provide that support. And anyway, so back to that. Ran the diagnostics, sent them out to them, and within a little over an hour, they got back and verified, yes, this machine is clean. There's no issue, and there's no security issue. And I let the customer know, peace of mind, and we move forward. So that was case closed. So 2 days, Monday, alert, Tuesday resolved. Okay. Other things this week. I have a client that has a machine that acts as a database server for an application that they use to manage their business, and it's supported by a company in Chicago, and they're out west, and I'm here in Ontario. So this is a three-way triangle, out west, Chicago, here. Anyway, something wasn't working, and they had some suspects of what had to be changed. So through my client out west, forwarded me the email that they had sent them, and I looked at it and said, oh yeah, okay, well, if those things need to be changed, we'll go and change them. So upon receiving the email, I made the necessary changes that they had required to their network. I don't know how things were working before, and we didn't have those changes, but anyway, did it. Got a hold of the guys in Chicago that support their application, said, okay, made those changes, can you verify everything's good? Got back to me, yep, everything's good. Problem solved in less than an hour. Okay. Same company, suddenly they couldn't print, right? They let me know about that. Problem solved, 10 minutes. Just goes on and on. And how can these things be solved so quickly? Well, it's because of the relationship, right? I don't have to figure out things. I already know a lot of stuff. I don't have to ask questions. The relationship is there, and we get things done. Now, there was another example I had from this week, and I'm trying to think of what it was. I don't know. Anyway, on top of all of this stuff, right? Very interestingly, this week, yesterday actually. Oh, yeah, sorry. That was one other client example before I get on to my own. Client laptop under warranty with Lenovo. The fan was making all kinds of noises. So, open up a call with them. I called Lenovo on behalf of the client, and I advocated for the client. And with a little bit of effort, it wasn't cut and dry right off the bat because the fan was just making noise. But we made arrangements for that fan to be replaced. Of course, she has an on-site warranty with her laptop that she bought, which I recommend for all computers that my clients buy, that they get that. And this is why, right? So we have an issue there. In normal circumstances, somebody might not have done anything about that, and that would eventually ended up with that machine having much more serious problems because it wouldn't have been cooled down properly. But because we had all this stuff, and I'm involved, and we know what's important, what's not important to deal with, reached out to Lenovo. 2 days later, service tech showed up, replaced the fan, and everything is good now. So, that problem solved. Right? All in the same week. And then this brings us to yesterday for us. Yesterday morning I got up, start my regular routine. I turned on our main computer, which is our main entertainment center, and can't find the hard drive. Now, what's significant about this is that I say this to people all the time. You have a computer, it's going to fail, and you really got to look at that thing that one day, out of the blue, you're going to try and do something and nothing's going to work. And if you don't protect it properly, right, you could lose stuff, or you could be greatly inconvenienced, or there could be real cost to your business. Just because it worked yesterday doesn't mean it's going to work tomorrow, right? And you've got to be prepared for that. So, of course, I was prepared for that, right? Because I use a find system from a company called Datto, and what it does is it images my machine every hour locally, and then it sends that image up to the cloud. So I'm not worried, right? So I look up my Dell system, and luckily it's still under warranty. The warranty goes till December 18th, so something didn't break down before the warranty or after, the day after the warranty. Murphy's Law, right? It actually broke down while it was still in warranty, so it's good. Hey, Caroline. And so anyway, I called Dell, right? And again, a little bit of effort, to get those guys to realize there's problems, stuff like that. Went through all the steps, and I have a new hard drive coming, which will probably come on Monday. I told them in this case they didn't need to send a service tech to install the hard drive. I figured, I could have had that done, but why? That's really easy work to do, and why waste somebody's time doing that? So anyway, the hard drive's coming on its own without a tech. I can install it, and my wonderful Datto backup device, I simply have to take that image and dump it back on that computer, and it's going to be exactly the way it was on Thursday night. No problem, no data loss, just a little bit of time and effort and investment, right? Yeah, sure. That service that I'm talking about here, I sell that to my customers about $120 a month. So you have to be protecting something that's really, really needs to be up and running all the time, right, to justify that kind of cost. I do it because anything I sell to my customers, I need to know it works, and I use it myself, first and foremost. So I get familiar with the product and really vet it out before I start to sell these things to my customers. So, good pass for Datto. Love the product. It's, fine. It worked good. So, yeah, so we'll just continue that story next week, I guess. It shouldn't be a big deal. And, yeah, so that's it. I don't know if I have anything else. It was a really busy week, and a really productive week. Problems came and problems were solved, and that's what it's about. That's what we do, and you're not out there on your own. And I gotta say, people out there, your computer is very much like your car. Your car, you take the mechanic. Step up in our service. The analogy would be that if your car could talk live to your mechanic all the time, that's exactly what I do with your computer, right, and with your technology. Help you manage it, help you keep safe, and yeah. So shout out to Mother Nature. Welcome winter, as you can see. But it's kind of funny. So anyway, I'm going to end here, and I don't want to make these videos too long. And like always, if you have questions, concerns, or there's something else you want to me to talk about, mention it in the chat. If you got a question live, mention it. And yes, so I'm asking about, actually somebody's asking me about hacking scams. Well, if you missed that in the beginning of the video, I talked about a client of mine had a hacking attack, a senior citizen, and it always really bothers me, so I'll just recap that a little bit. She brought that to my attention. The hacking email actually made reference to a password that she only uses with her bank account. I advised her to talk to the bank, have her bank change her password over the phone, which she did. And then I got WebRoot involved, and we did a verification of the system that it was clean and everything's good. So, problem solved, senior citizen's mind put at rest, and not worried. Okay? So, the hackers, right? They're only going to get better, and they're only going to get a little more sly. You know, there's nothing we can do about that. That's just the way it is. Okay? All right, so for episode 59, November 17th, we will sign out, and we'll see you all next Saturday. Again, I encourage you to send me subject matter, questions, concerns, something you want me to talk about. No problem, okay? And questions after the fact, if you're watching this recorded version, let me know, okay? All right, see you. Have a good weekend. Talk to you next Saturday. Bye.